Hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go.
Forward.
Hard work, hard work. Hard work.
Fall in.
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good with you on this day, Wednesday? I hope your week is going immaculate. You know who it is. It's your boy Trey, my man Bishop. Yes, let's go. I got time today. Cowboys fans, pull up. I got time today. Bishop, what's good with you this morning, bro?
WGO.
All that. I got time today. Let's
Hump day. What's going on?
go.
For some reason, this man is real hype on this
Let's
hump
go.
day. But it is what it is. How y'all doing? Welcome to First Formation on this hump day. How's everybody doing? WGO. What's up? What's up?
I got time today. Yesterday, he was a little something else going on. I got time today.
What is you so hype about?
Next week, I got time for the Eagles. Let's go. Let's go. I got time.
Y'all gotta get past them Cowboys first, sir.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Y'all need to worry about that. Y'all need to worry about that.
G's move silent like in lasagna. Let's go. I'm ready. We ready.
You say that. You say that.
Yeah, let me stop talking because it'll be a long day. Come Monday, I'm like, I got COVID. Trey, you'll be on Monday talking about Trey has entered into the protocol.
COVID protocol.
Health protocol.
Bro, don't do it. I'm just
saying. I won't be quiet. I had to sit out because Africa was talking to Coach Cal because Coach Cal, see, we trying to pull him in. Yesterday, my man Fred from home, he pulled up. I know he's been a Cowboy fan since we was growing up. He pulled up and tried to rope me in. Cal tried to rope me in yesterday. So yesterday I see Africa and Cal going there. I have to tell Africa like, yo, chill. How Aaron Rodgers say? Relax. Interesting enough that so when we get to NFL, there's a lot going on in the NFL. We'll go get to that soon. Let's get this NBA stuff out the way. Bishop, bruh, what are y'all gonna do? No KD.
Oh.
Yesterday, no Kyrie. Although it's interesting, right? Matter of fact, let me pull up my NBA stuff. So it's real interesting, right?
How bad was it yesterday?
It wasn't bad. They lost.
We lost to the Spurs.
Yeah, he lost to the Spurs. Yeah, I didn't even know. I would surely be like, because we was all on the NBA. We was on the NBA tip. We didn't even pay attention to the NBA. But yeah, I knew that was a perfect opportunity. I'm very sure it was some real quick tickets you could have grabbed to win the senior squad.
Golly, man.
But yes, of course, you know what I'm saying, the Nets faced off against the oh man, I lost it. Oh, there you go. Nets faced off against the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. Nets was kind of shorthanded. Well, they wasn't shorthanded. They was just missing their top two people. That goes on across the NBA all the time. But in any case, they was led by T.J. Warren's 19 points, 5 rebounds, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist from Edmund Sumner, 16 points on Steph Curry, who started for Kyrie Irving yesterday, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists from Nick Claxton, 5 points for Royce O'Neal. Joe Harris in 17 minutes didn't log a single stat.
That's a darn shame, bro.
Cam Thomas, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And Ben Simmons with the triple-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists on the night. The Spurs, however, led by Keldon Johnson's 36 points, 11 rebounds, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists from Jeremy Socon, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists from Trey Jones, 9 points from Josh Richardson, 4 points apiece from Doug McDermott and Malachi Branham, 2 points apiece from Diop and Stanley Johnson. Jakob Pato, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. for the dub as and San Antonio gets the win 106-98. I know a lot of conversations. I was looking at some of the things that they talked about. Ben Simmons had a quote where he basically said a comment where he said we can't expect Kai and Kev to be there all the time. We got to step up and
That
do what
part.
we got to do. We see today, like I said last night, triple double. Bishop, do you think Ben tends to take a back seat when you have Kev and Kyrie on the floor? And last night, because of course Jacques Vaughn was like, Jacques Vaughn basically came on and said he wasn't going to ask Ben to do anything more than what he has done already. You know what I'm saying? It was just one of those things. He's like, he wasn't asking him to assert himself because honestly, what's good, punchline? Honestly, he wasn't
What's good? Matt
still
shout out
hot
to
garbage.
Matt shout out to Punchline for a show that he had this past weekend up in the Georgia area, man. Shouts out to our frat man. But go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, so would you say that he just kind of like takes a back seat when Kyrie or them are on the floor and just does whatever? Because without a Kyrie, real quick,
would you could take a back seat though to certain individuals? I mean, just be honest. Would you take the back seat to the so-called team, the face of the team, the faces of the team?
Squad.
Mm-hmm. You kind of you know your face ain't above Kyrie nor above KD. So like in layman's like actually you gonna sit back and do now with both of them out is your time to shine.
Yeah.
With
first time up a triple double out the bag. Not a huge triple double, but
it's still
10,
a triple
10
double.
and 11. Yeah, 10, 10 and 11.
Triple double is triple double. That's hard to do in the NBA. Triple double is a triple double. But yeah, I mean, but see, we need that all the time, whether they on the court, not on the court. Because even with his triple double, they still took an L.
Yeah, they still took an L. But I mean, stuff like Joe Harris, who's expected to be the shooter, evidently shooting blanks, or not a single stat line. Like I
told you I want to. Joe Harris has always been sometimey, man. He's streaky. He's very streaky. I said that a while ago. Joe, he's streaky. Joe Harris is streaky. One night he'd be knocking him down. Bow, bow, bow. Next night you like 2 for 11. What? Where they do that at? Yeah, Joe. He's always been streaky to me. Always. So I mean, yeah, he always been streaky to me. But I mean, this is what happened when you don't have, your key players and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we just trying to make it to the All-Star break, bro. Just trying to make it to the All-Star break.
Just trying to get there. Still intact.
Hold on and put in. Ooh.
Oh, that's a nice hezzy.
Ooh.
But
yeah.
So when it comes down to it, of course, they talked about, like I said, brought it up, saying, and let's keep it in perspective. Kyrie Irving was only out because of calf soreness, which probably could be from exerting himself now that KD has been out and expected to be out a little longer. But now, of course, you see that without a question, presumably Ben can take it to the next level. And just imagine what that would have looked like if Kyrie was on the floor. But of course, they could have played him to the left. They could have played him to the left as well, thinking like, okay, Ben's not going to do nothing and decide, saying he's.
But it's kind of funny though.
At the scouting report.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. Kyrie and KD off the court, so that only person you really have to focus on is Ben, and you still allow him to have a triple double.
That's what I'm saying. They probably just basically played him to the left. Like I'm very sure the scouting report read, based on what he's done over the course of the season. And let's be honest, Ben hasn't been that active for the course of the season. We've said, of course, we've seen the other night where he didn't score any points, but he did drop 13. 13 assists or 13 rebounds and 9 assists or something like that. Like he had an all right. He didn't contribute on point wise, but he had an all right game. Otherwise, if he had 6 or 7 points, that would have still been considered a cool stat line. So I mean, I don't know what the scouting reports is that they have on Ben, but I'm very sure. We ain't seen triple double being in a while, and then we just seen triple double being last night. So now, of course, it's probably going to start to amp back up, and the people are going to start to be cognizant of, okay, what we know what Ben can do. He's without Kyrie. Now they're going to probably have to put that on him, like, yo, we got to sit up and watch Ben now because he's amping up. Kyrie's gone. he's probably feeling like he's in his bag again, and it's like now it's like we gotta check Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Along with some of the other players, which if you got now you look at it, if you got Kyrie in a perfect world, you got Kyrie that's coming back, Ben that's decided I got to do this. Now the other players like Nick Claxton and them now are in a prime position to put in the work. So that's definitely one of those things that which you got to take a look at and kind of entails. Additionally, of course, it was only four games last night, so 3 other games when it comes down to it. Of course, one being. One of those games being, let me go back. I'm sorry, bear with me. The Raptors and the Bucks in Milwaukee. Milwaukee gets the win by 8, 130 to 122, improving to 29-16 on the year, coming closer and closer to the All-Star break. Toronto Raptors fall to 20-25, just 5 games below 500. In their loss, Fred VanVleet contribute with a high 39.79 rebounds and 7 assists. Just barely outdoing Gary Trent Jr., 28 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists from Pascal Siakam. 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists from Scotty Barnes. 11.7 rebounds, Precious Achiuwa. Herman Gomez contributed with 2 points and 1 rebound, as well as Chris Bouchard with 5 rebounds and 1 assist on the night. The Bucks, led by Drew Holiday, 37 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Grayson Allen, 19 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis with the double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist. Joe Ingles, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Jordan Noir, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 5 points from George Hill, 10 points from Matt Connaughton. As like I said, the Bucks go ahead and take care of business. Fred VanVleet with another game in which he had a showing. Of course, a couple of days ago, Fred VanVleet decided not to engage or accept the extension in which Toronto put out there, as he's going to try to the market to see what he can get, where the value is, and it remains to be seen. They was looking to pay him $20 million a year, and he turned down $20 million a year to try to market. Last time someone did that, I think that was Dennis Schroeder, and we see what happened with him. He is somewhere playing for $5 million, allegedly giving up a $20 million plus deal with the Lakers just to come back to Lakers at a later time. He do, Andre. He does. Underrated player, he is. But hell, all the Holiday boys for the most part, everyone. You got 2 of them that play for Indiana, I believe, that are actually both up for I think free agency. So the Holiday family out of California, very talented indeed. Of course, another game last night, the Denver Nuggets. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry about that. That's what I was saying. Getting back to it. Sorry about that for a second. The Portland Trailblazers traveled to Denver to take on the Denver Nuggets, which the Nuggets were victorious, winning 122 to 113. With that win, that puts the Nuggets at 31-13 on the season. Of course, they currently beat the West as the number 1 team. Portland Trailblazers fall to just 2 games below 500 at 21-23 on the year. The Trailblazers led by Dame Lillard's 44-point outing, 3 rebounds, 8 assists to go along with it. 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists from Anthony Simons, 13 points, 2 rebounds from Shaedon Sharpe. Jeremy Grant, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on the night. 6 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists for Jusuf Nurkic. Gary Payton the second, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points for Sharpe, 6 points from Eubanks, and Nasir, 2 points. The Denver Nuggets, as they were coached by the younger Adam and the son of Rick Adam and former Portland Trailblazers coach, due to the fact that Malone, the head coach Malone for the Denver Nuggets, was out in protocol, health protocol overnight, so he had to slide over. Interesting enough, it was against his father's former team, in which he did okay. Of course, what you said, getting the win. 36 points, 12 rebounds, 10 to 6, triple double from Nikola Jokic. There go that man again, that name again. 23 points, 4 rebounds for Michael Porter Jr., 17 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists from Jamal Murray. Bruce Brown Jr., 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Aaron Gordon, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Who else do we have of notoriety? Nashawn Bones Highland, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 7.6 rebounds from Zeke Naji, 2 points from Davin Reed. And that would be it for the field. As again, like I said, Portland getting the dub. Taking the L, 122 to 113 on last night. And last but not least, the last game of the night, the NBA's 4-game slate yesterday, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers get the dub, 10 points on the on the road. Clippers in a losing effort was led by Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 12 points apiece from Ivica Zubac and Terrence Mann, 9 rebounds and assists for Zubac, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Mann, 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists for Paul George as he makes he reemerges after coming back off an injury. 16 points from Norman Powell, 8 points from Nicholas Batum, 7 points from Reggie Jackson. As we know, John Wall as well as Luke Kennard are currently still out with injuries. Actually, Kawhi Leonard is expected to be out as he left the game with an injury yesterday. Marcus Morris, 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. For the 76ers, who I said got the dub with 10 points, 41 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists from Joel Embiid, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in lay to Tobias Harris, 22 points, 2 rebounds and 2 assists from Tyrese Maxey, 9 points, 4 rebounds, George Noang, 4 points for Quan Kormas, Thibault with the assist. James Harden, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from DeAnthony Melton. Shake Milton contributed 4 rebounds and 2 assists. PJ Tucker, 6 rebounds, 4 assists as they take care of business on the West Coast against the Los Angeles Clippers. Improving to 23-23, putting them at 500. Dropping to 23-23, putting them at 500. The 76ers go ahead and 28-16, keeping them in third place in the East as they are only 4.5 games out from the East leading Celtics. Tonight's game, a 9-game slate, of course. You have the Dallas Mavericks to be facing off against the Atlanta Hawks. The New York Knicks will be hosting the Washington Wizards. The Houston Rockets, of course, will be facing off against the Charlotte Hornets. The Oklahoma City Thunder will do battle with the Indiana Pacers. The New Orleans Pelicans will be hosting the Miami Heat. Memphis Grizzlies to host the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Utah Jazz will be hosting the traveling Clippers squad. The Denver Nuggets will be hosting the Timberwolves. What's good, Shay? What's going on, fam? Glad to have you information with us, brother. How you doing? The Timberwolves, like I said, Nuggets and the Timberwolves. And of course, last but not least, the Los Angeles Lakers to face off at home against the hot streaking Sacramento Kings. So hopefully we can get a dub there to continue on, to continue to work on where we last left off. Of course, going over the standings, like I said, current update for the top 10. Y'all knowing the last 7 through 10 are always slated to compete in the in tournament play-in tournament. Currently, you have this Boston Celtics as the number 1 seed in the East. The Bucks come in at number 2. The 76ers, as aforementioned, number 3. The Nets, who at one point was a 2 seed, are currently at the 4th seed. Cleveland Cavaliers at number 5. The New York Knicks currently sitting at the 6th seed and safe from the play-in. The Miami Heat are currently the 7th. The Pacers at 8. The Hawks, the 9th seed, and the Chicago Bulls, the 10th seed. 12.5 games from from the Boston Celtics, but just 4.5 games out of the 6th spot. In my opinion, the 6th spot is that sweet spot, because if you're able to get that, then you're safe, and you're just basically waiting you're waiting for the tournaments the in-game tournament, season tournament to commence. In the West, however, a little bit different, a little tighter of a story that we have going there. Number 1 seeded Denver Nuggets, the number 2 seeded Grizzlies, who are just a half game back from the Nuggets. The Pelicans come in at the 3rd spot. Sacramento Kings at number 4. At number 5, the Dallas Mavericks. The 6th spot, the Golden State Warriors. Is crazy. Not even just a month ago, the Warriors were sitting at a number 12 spot. Here they are at the 6th spot, currently 9 games back from the Nuggets. To finish off what would be the tournament play-in, the Los Angeles Clippers at number 7, who were number 4 not too long ago. The Jazz at 8. The Timberwolves at 9, and the OKC Thunder. This is interesting when you look at the fact that the Thunder wasn't expected to do much, especially when they lost their first-round pick, Chet Holmgren, this past after taking the injury in the Pro-Am game. Here they are currently in the play-in, 10 games back for number 1 seed, and just 1 game back from the Golden State Warriors. Anyone's game in the West. You even have the Lakers, who are currently a 13th seed, who just sit 2 games back from the 6th seed, 1 game back from the 10th seed, with a game tonight versus the Sacramento Kings. All fortunes could start to turn a whole lot differently. Interestingly enough, it's going to be a battle out west. That's where the real competition is, assumingly. So I'm watching this West race as it goes down. As we get closer and closer to this season, the mid-season as well, it could take a whole different turn in state, where you can start to see teams kind of fall back and come to a point to where these top leading teams might start to fall off, or they might get stronger. Of course, you have the trade deadline that's coming up. You might see some movement in that action. Hey, it's anyone's game, especially in the West, and of course after the All-Star break, as well as the trade deadline, we kind of like to start to see things really pan out, because there's no more talking. You got to go with who you have, unless you have some people that are in free agents. Who have been released, are able to sign with anybody, and things of that nature. So, a lot of NBA, a lot of more NBA action to come, of course, as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. Anyone out there, any predictions on who you think will get moved? Shay, Andre, if you're still out there, any predictions on who's going to or probably get moved around or sent away? So while I'll wait anyone to respond to that, interesting topic came up, right? So of course you have Draymond Green, forward for the NBA, current defending NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors. So they're due to play in Boston soon. They're due to play in Boston. So with that being said, one of the send being away garbage dumpster. So tomorrow the Golden State Warriors are due to play in Boston, right? So with that being said, there supposedly, from what Draymond says, is he was caught a little off guard. He said he's been to plenty arenas, he's been to plenty places where things have been said and came across, but he said the Boston fan base really caught him off guard in his own words. He's like there was racial slurs hurled at him, a lot of talking in which he didn't fancy too much. He's like it was hard for him to block out. Of course, what he's saying is that now that has basically put him in a position to prepare him to be ready when he goes there again. He had never played in the TD Garden. His first playing in the TD Garden basically was during the playoff series, games 3 and 4, in which really caused him some angst, I guess you could say. He he just have recently had in the game the other night. He was in who did they play a couple of nights ago? Where he basically said that he faced off against where was it? They were uh, in Washington, in Washington, in their game against Washington. He was like there was a couple of fans that were talking and saying and heckling him and trash talking him behind the scorers table that was talking about Draymond. You think you're a Hall of Famer? You better not ever say those words out your mouth again and all that type of stuff. As they was basically Washington was taking it to Golden State. Draymond Green said as opposed to doing his usual, uh, he basically blocked out the fan and utilized what the fan was saying or fans were saying to fuel him, in which he basically him and the team turned that into I guess bulletin material and were able to walk back to get the win versus the Washington Wizards. But I'm very sure that's going to be a whole lot different of a story in Boston this time when it comes down. Of course, I'm very sure they're not going to be as vulgar and belligerent as they were the first time. Different stakes in for the most part. But of course, you want to get under someone's skin. Antagonizers and things of that nature. It's kind of hard to catch fans in that case because unless you got other fans that are basically pointing out that this person is doing this or that the third, and they're not right up on the court in which they can see, uh, it's going to be a different type of story. And I wonder, will he be able to? I mean, of course, he's been through it already, but I wonder, will he be able to block it out, to like shut out all the noise and concentrate on what's on the court? Is there anyone out there right now that had done that before? And what did you do to basically make it work? Like just to shut out anything or anything, like especially Andre. Andre, you're a comedian. How often do you get someone that wants to heckle you or that you have to sit up and try to shut out? Or, you know what I'm saying, you might go back and forth because, you know what I'm saying, it's content. It's live content, you know what I'm saying, for them to go back and forth with you. But do you ever have a customer or a guest or a person that's in the stand that's in the audience that, you know what I'm saying, tries to go back and forth with you and wants to turn into a show? You throw barbs, they throw some barbs, and it continues back, or do you shut it down? How you go about that, brother? Yeah, different breed, definitely, without a doubt. But yeah, so that of course, as I wait to see Andre for him to respond back. uh What else were we had? What else have we? Currently looking at seeing what LeBron's going to do. Currently just a little over 300 points, 351 points, I believe. Um, Always entertainment fans just want to be seen. In some cases, some get what they want. Others, it kind of like rescinds back. Um, I, it's not me. I'm not trying to do that. If I could be seen here, if that's if that's the case, in the case of on someone's job, not so much. At least that's just my thing. But like I was saying, LeBron James 351 points outside of the what is the coveted scoring all time NBA score. in which it says the expectation, or if you've been following ESPN, it has a whole LeBron watch for the record, in which the expectation is that he only needs 12 games at minimum to do it, in which he should have breaks the record by February the 9th. He just dropped 48 the other night against Houston. Tonight, he has a game we will play tonight. So it remains to be seen. How much does he put up tonight? Does he put up 25, 50? Like, what is going to be the expectation? I wonder what it would be when it comes out. How is it going to come out? In any case, it remains to be seen. I'm here for it. I wonder, will Kareem be in the building? I wonder have they talked. I wonder have they talked about it. Just thoughts in my head that I'm sharing. As my inner self talks to me. Where are we at? Where else were we at? Soon we're finna get to this NFL, because, like I said, I got time today. All the where them Cowboy fans at today. Where y'all at? Okay, Andre. That's why I was talking. Sometimes I let them dig their own grave. At one point, the audience is going to get upset because they paid to see a show, and now someone is running the experience they pay for, ruin the experience they pay for. Sometimes I go ahead and destroy their little dreams of thinking they can go back and forth with a comedian. In the mind of a comedian. So I appreciate Andre for providing us that little insight, in which I, of course, and it makes sense now that I think about it. Of course, you know, saying people get upset. It's like, come on, fam. Unless it's good entertainment, I'm very sure sometimes it's good entertainment. You might actually catch a diamond in the rough there, here and there. But yeah, that's not the time frame to go back and forth, especially when most of the time you can't, like, the comedian or whoever's on stage is the one with the microphone, of course, at the time. Of course, the same aspect of the sports, the person on the court is the one with, quote unquote, the microphone at the time, who's being watched and seen. And for you to go back and forth, especially doing free throws and stuff like that, talking to them, everyone can't hear. Instate is not everyone can hear. Only a certain amount can hear. And then, of course, you come to that situation, like you said, same situation in the case of when you're on the court. I mean, on the stadiums, on the stage, and they want to go back and forth. So I think they're going to actually put it in. I think it's going to be at both stadiums. Like, it'll be a long time, in my opinion, before LeBron gets a statue. In my opinion, there's been other Lakers that have came. What's good, Knief? What's going on, Coach Richardson? How you doing, sir? Glad to see y'all both information. Glad to see y'all. So I think it goes back. It'll be a while before LeBron gets a statue outside of outside of the Laker, what's that, crypto.com. Although he's done ladder stuff as a Laker, it's still, you know what I'm saying, there's still a lot of, I guess you could say, royalty in front of that. Of course, we know they have the, not Jordan, the Magic Johnson, Kareem, Shaq, I think there's other people that probably, you know what I'm saying, the logo, of course, he was a Laker. Wilt Chamberlain was a Laker. Like, it's other people. Other people that was there. James Worthy was a Laker. Some other people, top people that are deserving of it before LeBron does. Now, I'm not going to say LeBron doesn't get one. I'm very sure, especially as he brings another championship. Of course, as the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, that type of stuff is going to enact. But I think it's other people. Hell, Chick Hearn needs a statue before Mike does. Jerry Buss needs a statue before that. Like, it's other people I think that are deserving of having statues put out. So I think Cleveland would present him with one before the Lakers would. I mean, in my opinion, or that's what I just think. Yeah, see, yeah, definitely. So I think that, or hell, you got to think Miami. Like he's gone everywhere. He's gone. He's won the Cleveland just because that's his neck. That's his home. Because let's take it be honest, he only won one championship in Cleveland. He's won what 2 or 3 in Miami, and he's won one in Los Angeles. So, but of course, purple and gold, historic franchise. He's going to get one in Los Angeles. I just think it'll be a while before that happens. Um, but yeah, definitely. So let me sit up and see in transition because I'm looking and waiting for these people to show up. Because all it was a lot of talking yesterday. We was engaged on a Martin Luther King Army military basketball Martin Luther King winners. So I was trying to keep the focus, but it was a lot of people talking. The bubble, it is not a bubble, Andre. That's not what we're going to do. What we're not going to do is try to sit up and say that the Lakers won it was a debatable championship. It was a championship. It was a championship. There's no asterisks. It was a championship. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it there. There wasn't a bubble. No bubbles here. I mean, it was a bubble. It was a bubble, but it was a championship. Everyone had the same. So interesting. Like last night, we started intramural basketball here on Fort Polk, right? And we only have one basketball court in on our installation because the other gyms are converted and stuff like that. So we currently only have one basketball court. With the one basketball court, there was due to it's a high uh, volume of people that go and play basketball over the course of the weekend, late weekends and stuff like that, over the throughout the year. So now when I come and I'm getting ready to do my thing for the installation in reference to intramural sports, one of the basketball courts have been tilted a little, so it has to be realigned. It wasn't realigned by the time we got on the court yesterday. I didn't have an opportunity or time to fix it. So they ran the games. Just like the created bubble in which they had during the COVID impacted NBA season, all the teams in which competed played in that environment. Every team played in the same environment. Just like every team last night had to play on the same backboard, same rim last night. So there shouldn't be quote unquote any excuses or any conversation and stuff like that when it comes to that because everyone had to face the same. It's not. It's not. It's not so different. I'm just pointing out like everyone had to sit up and compete on the same rim last night. Everyone the same. Both teams played on the same rim for 20 minutes. 2 20-minute halves. One team played on it. The other team played on it. No different. Every team played in the bubble. All 16 teams played in the bubble. Actually, over 16 teams because it was teams that was trying to compete to get in. So everyone played in the bubble. They had an opportunity. There was an incubation period, so to speak, that they had to get acclimated because some of those teams had to play. At Broken Rim, you still playing. The COVID people had time to offer to heal. But they got an incubation period, Anthony, to where they came back, they played, they kind of got acclimated, and then they continue on through the seasons. 16 games for some people. Everyone had an opportunity to get acclimated. So that is why I believe firmly that there is no such thing as as an asterisk bubble because everyone had to compete. Everyone was faced with the same situations. It was even you got down or you didn't. People start walking off. Phoenix started a hot streak. It was unfortunate that they couldn't catch to get into the play-in. They couldn't make it in. They got back. Everyone had an opportunity. In state is, and The Lakers answered the call. That's what it was. Miami tried it. Denver tried it. Dallas tried it. The Clippers tried it. That's my take on it. So, of course, in the NFL, we know we're currently at that point to where it's time to see who is real, who is fake, so to speak. Um, as they as the teams get ready to take the field this coming week. So of course on wait, let me make sure this is the right one. Who's real? Who's fake? That's the type of people I hate. Hey. Um, like I said, for the most part in the NFL, you have a lot of stuff going on. Actually, you have the jobs or that have been people who have been hired, people who have been fired, people who have decided to stay places. Of course, we know Sean McVay, the Los Angeles Rams head coach, was potentially looking at maybe doing something a little different. He, however, did come back and let it be understood and informed that, hey, I'm staying put in Los Angeles. He's not going anywhere. So now we have him is taken care of. In the last this week, of course, Monty Austin-Fort was hired by the Arizona Cardinals to take over the position as GM. So he will stay the GM as he was the Titans director of player and personnel before his hiring, in which it was a position in which he did interview for with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans waited to hear what was the outcome of that situation before they offered. Obviously, they probably had their picks. It just made it easier once Austin-Fort was hired by the Arizona Cardinals, because they then yesterday hired former San Francisco 49ers president of personnel, Rand Carthon. Of course, he was finalized yesterday. He will be the new general manager for the Tennessee Titans, which in turns gives pause because I wonder, is he going to try or attempt to pluck any of the talent from the 49ers as far as players, as far as even coach. We know D'Amico Ryans is starting to ring out in certain circles about being the next head coach. This could be a position potentially for the Tennessee Titans. Additionally, hired the Cleveland Browns have now taken on and hired defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. We know Jim Schwartz as he's been a head coach in previous years. He was hired by the Cleveland Browns to take over their position at defensive coordinator. Of course, he has been with Cleveland Browns before, back when Belichick was coaching the Browns in the 93-95 season. So now you have Jim Schwartz, currently a defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. Additionally, other people, like you said, who has that position is so Monty Austin-Fort hired by the Tennessee Titans. Currently, they are looking for their head coach. Frank Wright and Sean Payton have already completed their, or correction, Frank Wright completed his interview with the Arizona Cardinals. D'Amico Ryans has been requested. Brian Flores requested. Ejiro Evero requested. That defense, that's basically what it is. Like, so this is a thing to think about, and which I didn't think about till you just said that, Anthony. The 49ers defense has built a profile, I guess you could say, under two different defensive coordinators. You had Mike Salah, who didn't do well in his first outing with the 49ers, came back the next year, showed dominance. They did have a down year where the majority of the defensive players were injured, but when they come back, he just shows dominance. I think the next 2 years, and then he leaves the next year for head coaching job in with the New York Jets. D'Amico Ryans picks up the mantle. Not bad for his during his time frame. 2 years, 3 years in. Now he's the dominant. Now he's showing promise, and everyone is starting to call for him as a potential head coach. So, is it the coaches or is it the players at this point? So I mean that's something taken consideration. Like I wonder too, like why is that? But I also think is it the coaches? Like that's what I'm starting to think. When you have a certain echelon that's above, but it's the people that's below. Is it the people that's below, or the entities below, or is it the one above? Same thing with head coaches and offensive coordinators, or head coaches and GMs. If the coach gets fired, was the coach the reason? Or is it the GM who didn't put the people in place? Same scenario for the coaches. If you fire the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator, is it them or is it you? Because yes, you give them reign over that group, but who is it really? Like, did you not give them, because you give them your philosophies or you ask them what is they want to do, you buy into that, but you still have free reign to sit up and say, this is what I want to try this, yada yada yada, saying, make that work, is this possible? And they go forth and enact that. If they go forth and do what you do, is it your vision wasn't able to be enacted by them, or was it they couldn't do it because it wasn't a good ideal, or they couldn't do it because they couldn't, like, saying, all that comes into play. So for me, I would wonder that if me as an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator can't get the job done, but I'm basing everything off of your philosophy, or I'm basing it off of what you wanted me to enact within my own right. Is it my fault that I couldn't execute it, or is it your fault that I couldn't execute it? And a lot of times it makes a difference because, yeah, I could be the offensive coordinator, but if you fire my head coach, by the time I get ready, when another coach comes in, I may not be the offensive coordinator anymore. He might bring in his own people. So all that starts to come into place and play a huge plays a huge role. So yeah, you have that. Carolina Panthers, of course, has an extensive list of head coaches that they're basically looking at. They've already completed talks with Jim Caldwell, completed talks with Shane Steichen, the Eagles head offensive coordinator. They completed Steve Wilkes, who is the interim coach currently. Um, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator. We found out this morning he decided to stay put with the Lions, as he's been sought at after a couple of teams to interview, but he's going to stay with the Lions, so he's not interested. Of course, requested from Jared Mario, Ken Dorsey, and Evero as well as requested Sean Payton. So making moves on that. Chris Richard, the Saints defensive back coaches being looked at or been talked to, is expected to interview for the defensive coordinator position. Where else are we? We just talked about the Cleveland Browns. Head coach position, of course, still open in Denver. They've completed Jim Caldwell. They completed David Shaw, Stanford University's former coach. Completed Sean Payton. Completed Evero, as well as Jim Harbaugh is decided to stay. As he talked, they said he didn't. They wasn't necessary an interview. They said Jim Harbaugh talked. What's good, Coach Ryan? What's going on, sir? Glad to have your information this morning. Great. You know what? I meant to call you yesterday. I'll probably give you a call later. Actually, I have a question for you about something. But glad to have your information, sir. Raheem Morris, complete. So everything, the Denver Broncos are moving steadily along. Probably still looking to interview Dan Quinn and D'Amico Ryans, who are currently both still playing. So of course they haven't had that. They're not interviewing currently, but they are requested. But of course, they're still in the playoffs. So their teams are still active. So hopefully they'll be able to interview Dan Quinn on Monday. Um, the Houston Texans head coaching position still open. They had Ben Johnson on their list. Ben Johnson has decided to stay with the Lions, as we had mentioned before. Already completed the interview with Sean Payton. Same idea with Shane Steichen, D'Amico Ryans, Mike Kafka from the Giants, Jonathan Gannon from the Eagles. They're all still currently competing. So some of them are just requested. D'Amico Ryans requested. He hasn't interviewed yet. Shane Steichen completed already. That's why the Eagles going to lose. That's exactly why they're going to lose, because they're having conversations and interviews and stuff with teams during their regular season. That's why they're going to lose. That's exactly why they're going to lose. The Giants is going to get them just for that. You a whole offensive and defensive coordinator interviewing for the Texans job, but you in the middle of the playoffs. That's why they're going to lose. And then I know Bishop would probably say they was on a bye. And yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Coach Sutter. He was like saying the Eagles, and look, he appeared. That's it. But that's why that's exactly why they're gonna lose. Just wait. We're gonna see it. They're gonna lose, and then they're gonna then neither one of them won't probably get hired for the position. That's exactly what they're gonna lose. Additionally, of course, Indianapolis Colts looking for a head coach. They completed all but two requested coaching. Again, look at that. Shane Steichen, another. Look at that. How is the Eagles coordinators interviewing for these jobs and they are still in the playoffs? Where is their focus? We talked about being focused yesterday, Coach Raya, and wondering, like, why is it that you can't? Why could you, Coach Raya, could you go and interview for, let's see, there's not too many bigger installations in Fort Hood. But could you go and do an interview in your regular season? Would you be open to going, especially when it's in the thick of it, y'all getting ready to go to nationals, and then you get a call to come interview for, let's say, assistant coach position at one of the organizations in which you, one of the universities in which you played against, but you're in the thick of it for your nationals and whatever other things you got going on. Could you go and interview for that position when you're in the thick of it? Would you be able to? I mean, of course, a veteran, a military warrant officer, soldier, officer are built different. So maybe, yes, maybe you can. But besides that, could you go and interview? What's good, Coach Cal? What's going on? Glad to have your information. So did the Colts O-line forget how to block, or did the league simply commit to stopping Jonathan Taylor? So in that aspect, Coach Cal, I think they committed to Taylor. Of course, you got to take into consideration John Taylor didn't have certain he was injured. It wasn't the same year that he had a year ago. So I think that coupled with the fact of the line was depleted, there wasn't a passing game. So that, saying the passing game didn't mirror that of the run game and vice versa, because that was some of the reason in which they talked about. Because Frank Reich, honestly, he apologized to Matt Ryan because he said the expectation was that they were going to have a run game and they were going to have a line for him to operate behind. And none of that came to fruition, where he ended up basically falling off. So that took that was a portion, or took a situation. So you have that. Back to Coach Uriah. Pro level of the NFL is different. Those interviews have to wait until after. Thank you. That's what I'm saying, Coach. But yet, here, you know what? That's because some damn Eagles are spoiled. They think they have already won the Super Bowl, and they ain't did nothing yet. They haven't even played in the playoffs yet. That's why the Giants is finna get them. The Giants is gonna catch them slipping. If I am being offered a job in the military, as long as my supervisor allows it, I don't see it as an issue. Of course, Anthony Scott Turner got fired mostly because he was on board with the Wentz trade. So Ron wanted Wentz. But and that's what I'm saying, Anthony. Like, whose fault is it really? Like, does it be? I mean, everyone's watching, honestly, when you think about it, because of course the offensive coordinator is watching his special teams groups. I mean, his groups, being the offensive line coach and all that type of stuff. So of course they go and make the recommendation to the head coach, who then, unless he has free reign, most of the time, most organizations, the head coach has his staff and he has free reign over that. And then the GM has his staff, and he has the only person he has is free reign for the most part over the head coach. But he does reserve the right to sit up to say, "Hey, this isn't working here. We got to make some changes." But yeah, so you're watching. Of course, offensive coordinator is watching that. The coach is watching that, and then below, so on and so forth. In-state the owner, who is watching everyone and tends to make calls and do that. So military basketball, if a volunteer coach is being offered a coaching job on the college staff, they can't turn that down. Just have coverage of the team during your absence. Good point, coach, and which makes sense. Of course, that because, like I said, it's voluntary. Ain't none of y'all getting paid. At least we, from what we know, there's no one getting paid in military basketball. Stranger things that happen, I'm sure. Anthony Price, everybody needs a scapegoat. And watch, that's gonna be the scapegoat for the Eagles when they lose. Well, we had two coordinators that basically was looking at that was interviewing. There was a loss of focus. But you know what I'm saying? We were there, we had our opportunity, we had a chance, it just didn't happen this time. It was a great season, and we look forward to next year, to basically coming back and doing it again. Eric Bieniemy, of course, has interviewed for the Indianapolis Colts position. Just Saturday, I don't think is going to interview. They'll say whether he's completed or been requested. Wink Martindale, the Giants coordinator, he's been requested. He's still in the playoffs. He hasn't interviewed.
So what we're not gonna do?
Bro, what's going on?
Hey, bro, what we not gonna do? I heard your little comments, bro. Your little comments about the Eagles ain't gonna win against the Giants. Make sure you pick the Giants, partner. Make sure you pick them this weekend on them picks. Make sure
I
you
was
pick
just
the Giants.
I was just saying
ain't nobody worried about who's up for coaching jobs and all that. We do need to focus, and if we lose, I'm gonna be pissed because they focused on the wrong damn things. But we better not, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you right now, bro.
Yo, if your offensive and defense coordinator have already interviewed for these positions already,
we need somebody to interview for the head coaching position. Problem is, example is Harbaugh at Michigan. If he doesn't commit to Michigan, the program loses their recruits.
He's committed. He went back.
Yeah, he went back.
He's saying.
Yeah. He said he's staying. My fault. My wife about to leave. She's about to go out of town for the next 4 days. So she giving me.
All right, safe travel, sis.
Yeah. Praying. Hey, Sammy said safe travel, babe. She said thank you. Yeah, she about to fly out of Austin here in a few days, going to Oklahoma. So just going over a few things before she get on this.
Yeah, I mean, we don't wish her downfall,
really
but
and taking a risk coming back. Look, bro. Calvin, all y'all. Look, I know y'all looking for the Eagles' downfall. I know that y'all looking. I see y'all. You don't see that the 2022 NFC East Division champions. I know y'all looking for our downfall, man. But it's not gonna happen. Now, what y'all will say is gonna happen is y'all need to worry about them 49ers, Trey, and the Dallas Cowboys. That's what y'all need to worry about. Y'all need to worry about, Michael Parsons. That's what y'all need to worry about. Those things. That's what y'all need to focus on. Don't worry about what's going over there in our game. Worry about what's going on over in y'all game with them Cowboys. Because if them Cowboys beat them 49ers, bro, oh buddy. Y'all play what, Sunday? Y'all got Sunday's game, right?
We play Sunday. Yeah, we got the primetime game.
No, huh? Y'all got the what day? What?
We got the primetime game on Sunday.
On Sunday, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got the prime. That's fine. We got the primetime game on Saturday. That's fine. That's fine. We got the primetime game on Saturday. Y'all got the primetime game on Sunday at 5:30. We got the primetime game.
Party's finna no.
Cologne. I know. But once again, I don't know if y'all heard and y'all didn't see. I done talked about Brock Purdy, man. And all the analysts are saying the same thing about Brock Purdy. They putting that boy, whatchamacallit on the bench, bro. They not. I'm telling you, if Brock Purdy fool around and win this game too, bruh, there's no way There's no way, bro. You bring old boy out as a starter. No way. Not if Brock Purdy finished the season well. There's no way, bro. There's no way. You got to go with the hot hand. You have to go with the hot hand. Let's see Parson get past Trent Williams. Okay. All right, AP.
We all know they're going to move him around.
Yes. And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Know that. Cowboys paid old Brady. Most people knew the Cowboys were going to win. Wow, Anthony, you think it was fixed? Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was fixed, but I figured the Cowboys were
going to
win.
Conspiracy theory of AP, bro. The conspiracy theory. It's going to be a good game, man. It's going to be a good game. Y'all definitely got the primetime game on Sunday. We got the primetime game on Saturday. Kansas City Jaguars, that's Bengals, Bills. Everybody looking forward to the 2 late games on Saturday and the late games on the Saturday and the late game on Sunday. What's good? Good? Flip.
And other things, of course, a couple of things keep on coming out. One, they asked Hurts, what does he think about the bounty that is on his shoulder?
What bounty?
From the Eagles. I mean, from the Giants to hurt him because it's his shoulder.
That should be what? What do you mean? What?
He's not worried. He said he has a bounty on him every week.
I mean, when you second or third in the league leading rushing as a quarterback, I can see that. I can see that. Oh, good question, Coach Hunter. Are this year's Jaguars last year's Bengals?
We're gonna see on Saturday.
I've been telling y'all, Sunshine is a bad man. Trevor Lawrence, I've been saying that. Trade him on to believe me. Trade him on to believe me that Trevor Lawrence, and look where he at right now. Trade him on to believe me. I told you that's a bad man. This man threw 4 interceptions in faced adversity.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because let's talk about that for a second. Is that the fault of? Is that a admonishment for Lawrence, or is that a debacle for the defense? Like, let's honestly think about that.
That's an accomplishment because 4 interceptions, bro.
And you come back and throw 4 touchdowns.
4 interceptions. Most quarterback. Man, shouts out to Doug Peterson for not pulling him. Because most coaches would have pulled their quarterback after throwing the 4th interception, bro. Most coaches would have pulled their quarterback after throwing the 4th interception. These cats were down 27-0 at one point. I think 27-0, and come back, and he throws 4 touchdowns and wins the game.
And then this is a good point from Anthony. All those interceptions wasn't on him.
Facts, but he's gonna get
because I can be sure if I throw 4 interceptions and all of them was I put the ball in the right place and the quarterback he
gonna get the stat though. Yeah, and that's
I take the stat, but in my mind I was like, that wasn't at that point I'm thinking, should I throw it to that receiver anymore?
Right, and don't get me wrong. He gonna get the stat because of the fact that he's the quarterback. But I totally agree with you. All of them.
If you know, it's like, oh, that wasn't on me. Like I threw it. I'll get charged with it, but I put it in his hands. He didn't catch it or he ricocheted or whatever. That's not my fault. So it's too much prowess being put on. He threw 4 interceptions and he came back and won the game. All those interceptions wasn't on him.
You just gotta know that, bro. With just think about it, Trey. How your mindset after throwing 4 interceptions, bro. You have to know that you like.
What's the most interceptions you've thrown in a game?
Ooh, boy, probably 3. You have to know after throwing an interception, the first thing after throwing your 4, you're like, oh well, I know they finna pull me. Let me go ahead and put my helmet on this little stand. Look at Bosa, pissed, and just look at him. Even though he's throwing 4 interceptions, he's still cool, and collect. Doug Peterson, he's got to get Coach of the Year, bro.
No,
he's got to get Coach of the Year. Why not? Why not? He has turned this whole franchise around, bro. Compared to what they were last year and what they are now, there's no way he shouldn't get Coach of the Year. There's no way, bro. Slam that thing, Trevor. Look at their faces. Their faces,
Where's the
bro.
submission cobra at? I want to see
Look at
this.
their
I love seeing
faces,
the submission cobra.
bro. Like keep believing, bro. He keeping his people excited about the game, keeping them like, bro. Look at this boy, and he's like he even though he threw 4 interceptions, he wasn't afraid to throw it. He didn't hesitate. He steady continued to throw that peel, bro. Look at dimes. Y'all, I told y'all this boy's finna be a bad boy. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. Y'all did not want to listen to me. I'm telling you, 30 to 20, that boy is a bad boy, bro. That's a bad boy. I'm trying to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all, did not want to believe me. It was bad coaching last year. With the right coach, Doug Peterson looking like he the quarterback whisperer over there, man, in the NFL. I'm just telling you.
I give him quarterback whisperer, but he ain't the coach of the year.
Who's the coach of the year, Trey?
Dan Campbell.
And explain why.
Wait, hold up. You wasn't supposed to ask that question. But I'm glad you asked that question because I expected you. Dan Campbell is the coach of the year because he has, just like Coach Cal said right here, Jim Johnson said it best. Why would you automatically crown coaches as coach of the year for improving on a trash team versus crediting coaches for sustaining excellence?
Because he's turned the whole organization around. You went from a losing season to a season where you didn't even make or even thought about making the playoffs to make it to the second round into the playoffs. What? That don't even make sense, bro. Think about what you're saying. If you're sustaining, you're just on the same level. You went from the bottom, but you went from the bottom to the top. You went from the bottom to the top, bro. Like right now, this is nowhere close to what the Jaguars were at last year. True. And now come on, bro. That's like self-explanatory.
I think Dan Campbell did an exquisite coaching job. I hate to say it, Saransky did an exquisite coaching job. Now, you know what I'm saying, y'all had the top seed record or the majority of the year based off of where y'all played last year.
Oh, you talking about Nick Sirianni?
The playoffs? Yeah, Sirianni. I said Saransky. Sirianni. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sirianni. Saransky is
I was like Saransky.
Cleveland, right?
Right. Yeah.
So Sirianni. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni, who basically what y'all.
But again, I already told you, Trey. It ain't Nick Sirianni's coaching. It's the play of coordinators. Yeah, it's not his coaching. I truly believe that's going to be our downfall. His bad is I don't think he's that. I've been saying that all season about Nick Sirianni. I don't feel like he's the coach, in my opinion. I don't. But go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, so you have him, like Calvin, even like with Dan Campbell. They were like last year. Think about it. For 2 years, this is his third year. It was his third year as a coach. The first year they didn't do too well, but they were in games. Last year they came back. They won more games than they did the previous year. Again, in games. This year they came back 9-8. A hot Jared Goff. In games. They started at the end of last year. He came back, and so it's like Coach was saying, excellence. He's showing year in and year out. He's improving this year from what they did when they didn't have a chance. 98 potentially with if it wasn't for certain situations, they would have been in the playoffs instead, as opposed to the Seattle Seahawks.
But my question is, out of all them coaches in which you named. Who's in the playoffs right now?
Campbell's in the. I mean, not Campbell. Your coach.
Nick Sirianni, which I'm not exit him. Outside of him, who else? None of them. But Doug Peterson with a 9-8 record. I see what you're talking about, Calvin. I get it, but still, the fact of the matter is, he has his team in the playoffs. He has his team in the playoffs, where that team was trash last year. Trash. He has his team in the playoffs. He is a Super Bowl champion coach. There's no way he is completely not saying any of these other coaches. Detroit's coach, who else? Oh boy, you just talked about. I'm not taking nothing from them, but they're not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs. Doug Peterson has his team in the second round of the playoffs. They just had one of the third biggest comeback in NFL history. Come on, bro. There's no way, in my personal opinion, you don't pick him as coach of the year when you've gotten your team to this level. And it's a possibility, depending on, I don't think they're going to beat Kansas City. No, I don't. That's a huge feat in Arrowhead. I don't. When you're going against Patrick the Great, I don't. However, I do think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's going to be a closer game than what people think. Now, I'm going to be honest. If KC gets that lead like that, Andy Reid ain't letting that lead be. Then he ain't letting them come back like that. Andy Reid is not going to let that happen. It's definitely a Cinderella story and touches the heart more so than seeing a good team continue to dominate. Facts. I totally agree with you on that one, Calvin. But when it's all said and done, Doug Peters deserves airtime on ESPN, but not coach of the year. What? Explain to me. Okay, I hear what y'all say, but I need y'all to explain to me, Coach Hunter, Trey, Calvin, I need y'all to straight
No,
read.
don't y'all dare.
Yes,
No.
yes. I'm so glad because this dude here, my
What?
dude, my constituent right here, this
No.
dude right here, this dude right
yes,
here,
I was like,
this dude right here,
No.
this dude right here, this dude right here. He just knew KC wasn't gonna be nothing without Tyreek.
I didn't think that was gonna be.
And I told him it ain't Tyreek. I told him it's that bad man Patrick the Great. I told him they was still gonna be something. Y'all gonna listen to me, bro. Y'all gonna listen. I told him he's still gonna do the things in which he do without Tyreek. And look at Miami. He talked all Tyreek talked all in. Tua is more.
Hold up.
Tua's more accurate.
Hold up.
Tua's more accurate than
before Tua went down. Tyreek was that dude. Before Tua went down, Tyreek was that dude. We can't say that.
Where they at right now? That's all
I get it. I understand. But before Tyreek went down, Tua was that dude.
Tyreek is at home. Patrick's still playing ball. That's all that matters. Well, that's all. Either Andy or Mahomes get some individual hardware. I'm just.
I guess Mahomes.
I just still need to hear from y'all, the Calvins, the Coach Hunters, and the Treys. How I need to hear why
it won't be Doug Peterson.
No, I need to know why Doug Peterson doesn't deserve it. Okay, I heard all the people.
I say he doesn't deserve it. I just said it won't be him.
Why?
Because Dan Campbell is going to get it.
How when his team ain't made the playoffs?
So it's a regular season award. Does the team need to make the playoffs to win the award?
I absolutely feel like they should. How do you get the coach of the year and you didn't make it to the playoffs? How are you the coach of the year if you didn't? The biggest feat is to make it to the playoffs.
That part, man. Thank you, sir.
Fellas, aren't the awards for regular season? I'm saying vote. It is for regular season. Got you. But if your team has made it to the playoffs.
You think if you put your team to the playoffs, it should elevate you above your peers?
Automatically. Absolutely. It is for the regular season. But if your team made the playoffs because of your coaching, the Eagles were number one with the division that had 3 teams in the playoffs and the 4th team, Washington, with the same record as the Jaguars. Reward the best team, not the team we feel bad for. It's not that I feel bad for him, Coach Hunter. It's not that I feel bad for him. I honestly believe Doug Peterson has come in and changed that whole team's dynamics and found a way to make Trevor Lawrence relevant within the league. Where last year people felt like Trevor Lawrence was not the Trevor Lawrence in which everybody expected. And he came in and showed, yes, y'all need to recognize this young man. Sunshine is who he is. And y'all need to recognize for what he is. And he's going into the playoffs. Bro, it's hard. I hear what y'all saying, but that's just hard for me to fathom that they pick somebody outside of Doug Peterson, man. In my personal opinion, it is. When you got a 9-8 team that's in the playoffs right now, a 9-8 team. Come on, man. They beat the Chargers, who no one had them gave them any chance of beating the Chargers. How? In what way, Anthony? How did Daboll do more to the Giants than the Peterson did in Jacksonville? How? If you look at the Giants record last year and the Jacksonville record last year, weren't they around about the same?
Oh, Giants, no.
I got you. I feel you, Coach Hunter. The Giants won how many games last year? Like 4 or 5?
They wasn't that good last year.
They was bad. They was bad.
I
get Daboll did his thing. Daboll, I'm not knocking Daboll, but so was the Jaguars. I think Jaguars won around 3 or 4 games too. And both of them are in the playoffs this year. I get it. But which team has more to work with out of the Giants?
The Jaguars have more to work with.
Who? Name who they got. Name
Are
it.
you serious?
Yeah, out of Christian,
They got
out of Christian
ETN.
Kirk,
They have
out of
Christian
Christian Kirk,
Kirk. They
AETN
have Zay Jones. They have not Marvin Jones. They have
ain't done nothing.
they have weapons. They have
More,
weapons
they got
on
more weapons
offense.
than the Giants,
Yes, all the Giants has is Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley.
bro. How's the Giants winning? What do you mean? How they winning? They getting wins. I mean,
They're getting wins because of Saquon.
once you take Saquon out,
Don't worry, Anthony. You gonna see this weekend.
No one had high expectations for the Giants. Saquon returning to his old self was the shocker. Danny Dimes has been himself for the most part outside of a couple of exciting games.
They're gonna see. They're gonna see Saturday.
Who gonna see? Who gonna see?
The world is gonna see.
Go see what?
I need you. Saquon.
I need you to understand. Every time we done played Saquon, we done shut him down.
He didn't play the last time y'all played him.
We played the first. He played the first time.
That's one time.
That's all we need.
And y'all ain't gonna see him. Y'all ain't see him the second
He
time.
Didn't even average,
y'all finna see him the third time.
100 yards rushing.
Y'all finna see him the third time.
Okay, fine. Guess what? He finna see y'all. They finna see Miles Sanders too, and Jalen Hurts. 2 touchdowns by Jalen. Two touchdowns by Jalen because everybody's sleeping on Jalen. If Danny takes off running on Philly, it'll get interesting.
That part, Coach Cal, that's what I'm saying. They ain't stop making running quarterbacks when they made Jalen. Danny Dimes could get them yards.
Let Danny run. Let Danny run. Let Danny run. And let Riddick get a hold of him. Let Danny run. Come on, run, Danny. Come on, run. Run, Forrest. I'm telling you.
Dimes.
Okay, let him run.
That name is going to ring out all day or come Monday morning.
Okay.
Danny Dimes.
Okay. Don't laugh too hard, Marcus. Don't laugh too hard. Because y'all got CMC to worry about. Y'all got Debo. Yeah. And Purdy.
Purdy. It's a lot. They got a lot to worry about. I mean, we all do. I'm not
going to
front.
Purdy get Purdy on y'all. Hurts better slide. He will. He slid off.
He won't take them hits.
He didn't take no hits this last game against the Giants. He didn't take not one hit.
The Giants succeeded. You know what? The Giants wanted them. They wanted to sit up and be able to say, we put y'all out the playoffs. That's why they wasn't even worried about that. It is
some good games this weekend. It is some good games.
The Giants was even worried about that. They was like, we'll see you next week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
The Giants wasn't sure about that. The Giants barely got away through Minnesota. They skimmed barely through past Minnesota. They barely got through. Minnesota made some bad mistakes. Kirk Cousins did what he normally do. That's why they not there. All I know is we spanking them Cowgirls by at least 14 on Sunday. Ooh, what? By 14. I wonder what Dak, CD, Micah, Zeke, Tony.
No, you did not just say Zeke.
Tony, Paul. I wonder what all them. I wonder what all them got to say about that. They just beat the GOAT. Nobody believed in Kirk Cousins and all his regular season antics. Yeah. You notice somebody who ain't been on here, Trey.
Well, he's on vacation.
Oh, okay. We owe Debo. He was a little mouthy last year. Oh. That's gonna be a good one. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I don't know who I want to win that damn game. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
You know who you want to lose in that game. Don't play.
I want both of y'all to lose. I wish y'all both could lose. I want both of y'all to lose, to be honest. Remember that on Monday.
You know you would rather see Brock Purdy because he's a rookie than you would rather see the Cowboys again.
No, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Brock Purdy scares me. If y'all had old boy in there, I would definitely want y'all to win.
Really? That's how you gonna play us?
Yeah.
If we had who? Trey
Lance. No, Trey Lance. If y'all had Trey Lance, I would definitely want y'all to win. Definitely. Who gonna smack Philly? Bro, if y'all don't get out of here, bro. Y'all don't get out of here. Y'all is not finna smack them. Something tells me Cincinnati will beat the Bills. Nope. I don't see that, man. I mean, I like Joe B. I like Joe B. But I don't know. Not that out. Okay, Africa. Get past the Cowboys first. Get past the Cowboys first. That's what y'all do. Worry about the Cowboys first. Michael Parsons going to lift the defense. He's the difference for the boys this year. Look at Trey.
Like I said, I the only reason I ain't gonna say I have a problem, but the only reason I see it is different is that at some point, hopefully it won't come to next year. Brock Purdy is still a rookie. That at some point, you know what I'm saying, has he been faced with adversity yet?
So is that going to be your excuse right there? Is that
no? So I'm just saying he's a rookie. So I get that completely and utterly. Like, you know what I'm saying, he's a rookie. At some point, that rookie might show up. I don't know when it'll show up, but at some point, the rookie's
they got to get past. They got to get past Dallas first.
Yeah. So
Trey, as you see, Trey already is talking about Brock Purdy's a rookie. He's got to, you know, can he face all the pressure as a rookie going into this game against the Cowboys? Okay. Make sure you on here Monday, Africa. Make sure you on here, because I'm about to tell you, boy, y'all come up short. in my Denzel Washington.
Talk about set that excuse up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, no excuse at all. I just say that he's a rookie. And so at some point, you know what I'm saying, and he wasn't a rookie that was heralded and thought of being a starter. He
faced adversity in that game this past Sunday, because he wasn't looking good in that first half at all.
But they was only down by 1 point.
Yeah, but he came in. But he still wasn't passing well. If Brock loses, you tell Half to start him next year.
No, Brock ain't starting next year regardless of what he do.
Old school. Brock can start next year, bro. Y'all heard it here first. Brock will start next year. Watch. As long as he stay healthy, he don't get hurt.
Brock will not start. It don't make a difference what Brock can win the Super Bowl. He's not starting next year.
Y'all hear it. Y'all heard it here first. I said Brock will be the starter for the San Francisco 49ers if he's there and he doesn't get hurt. Bro, I'm telling you, he starts. If he doesn't get hurt and he's still there, Brock Purdy starts.
Brock Purdy can win the Super Bowl and he will not start next year.
You crazy. Y'all, boy, if y'all do some dumbness like that, bro, y'all need to be disbanded. But both better not give Dak time to let CD drop them quarterbacks off at school. Woo! Oh yeah, that's Purdy's team now. That's what I said, Marcus. He don't believe that though. He don't believe Trey. Don't believe Fat.
Y'all shouldn't believe that.
I do believe that. Why not? This dude is 6-0 now.
Nope.
Come on, bro. Come on, Trey. If you said that the Jets, say it again, Anthony. Trey, if you said that the Jets traded for Zach Wilson, so what do you keep? What do you keep starting him?
For one, Zach Wilson has had time.
Well, Garoppolo is still hurt, and so is Trey. Well, no. As a matter of fact, Garoppolo isn't hurt anymore.
Yeah, Garoppolo is going to probably be he's going to be the backup.
Right. I'm not, as a matter of
problems.
So this is my thing. So no, but this is my thing. Why, if Garoppolo can play, why not probably play with Garoppolo
because Garoppolo isn't going to be there next year. He's not. It
doesn't matter. He's still healthy. It's about now. It ain't about next year. It's about now.
So let's put this in perspective.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Brock Purdy is good. Is doing an exquisite job. He's surpassed any thoughts of what anyone thought. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it makes sense for him to continue to start right now. But what is coming up is you have a serviceable backup if something happens with Brock Purdy during the course of the game, whether he falters or he gets injured, and then you have Jimmy Garoppolo to come in to play the position.
No, Trey.
Jimmy isn't going to be there next year.
No, Trey.
He's done. Jimmy will not be a 49er next year.
What you will not do, Trey. What you will not do. There is no coach in the NFL that I know of, and y'all help me out. Africa, Calvin, Marcus, Anthony, Uriah. There's no coach, in the NFL that their starting quarterback is healthy enough to come in and play a playoff game over a third string quarterback and not start him. I don't care how well you've played. There is no coach that is allowing a third string quarterback to go into a playoff game, which is a rookie, like you stated. He's a rookie to go and put all that pressure on that rookie when you have a veteran quarterback in Jimmy G and you're not starting him. That tells you a lot.
The 49ers
tells you a lot about what they feel about Brock Purdy, bro. And if you
the
feel
49ers have a barrel of riches, first and foremost. They have a barrel of riches. Hold on. The 49ers have a barrel of riches, first and foremost. They have a three.
Africa, I want to hear what you say about what I'm talking about right now. Why they not starting?
They have a barrel of riches.
But go ahead.
Jimmy Garoppolo is good. So for first and foremost, Jimmy Garoppolo was the backup at the beginning of the season. When he got healthy, he was a backup.
Who was the starter?
It was Trey Lance. Trey Lance was named the starter of the season early. But
how did he lose it?
Because he got injured.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead, finish.
So let's keep it in perspective. Okay. Jimmy wasn't supposed to be in San Francisco. Jimmy was going to be traded out of San Francisco. His injury was kept him in San Francisco. When his injury, then they started the season back up. He was recovering still. Trey Lance started the season. The second game of the season, Trey Lance goes out. Jimmy comes back in, and he goes on. He loses one or two games. He loses a game. He goes on a win streak. He gets injured. Brock Purdy comes in and hasn't lost a game since. So when you look at that, Trey Lance is recovering. Jimmy is recovering. Trey Lance is recovering.
But Jimmy is recovered, I'm saying.
Jimmy may be recovered, but they're in a good position right now where they can sit up and have their Super Bowl quarterback, not Super Bowl winning, but the Super Bowl quarterback that they have as a second string, while the hot hand of Brock Purdy is cooking.
That part,
they're
Calvin.
they're in a good position.
That part, Calvin. You hit the nail on the head right there. That speaks volumes about the San Francisco 49ers right now and their quarterback situation. There's no way you have a Super Bowl caliber quarterback in Jimmy G. You have a third string quarterback. Mind you, he is 6-0, 7-0 right now. He's playing lights out ball. And I heard what Marcus Gardner said. Frat said they don't want to break the Purdy mojo. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get it, and I totally agree. I understand that, but this is more reason on why would you attempt to even try and put Trey Lance in next year when Brock Purdy is playing such great ball right now?
Because Trey Lance hasn't shown anything yet because he has been injured.
But you contradicting yourself because you're saying that about Trey Lance, but you're not saying that about Jimmy G.
Because Jimmy is going to be he's a free agent.
It doesn't matter. It's about now, though. You're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. You're not worried about next year. If you're going to ship Jimmy off, you're going to ship him off. Why not just let him finish out the season or finish off the postseason and win a Super Bowl if he can win one? You're saying you're going to bring Trey back.
Because if Brock wins a Super Bowl, you even said
if he wins the Super Bowl, he still ain't finna be the starter.
No, he's not.
That's crazy, Trey. That
did Nick Foles come back the starter next year?
They got rid of him. And I said that was stupid for them. I said that. That was the dumbest thing. He won the Super Bowl and he was the Super Bowl MVP, and you get rid of him.
Why did Nick Foles have an opportunity to be the Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Huh?
Why did he have the opportunity to be the Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Because
Carson Wentz was hurt.
And guess what? Listen to now with that being said, Carson Wentz did what he did, got him to the playoffs. Nick Foles got him to the playoffs, won the Super Bowl. They he won the Super Bowl, won MVP in the Super Bowl. They fool around stupidly, trade him off. That wasn't Doug Peterson's fault. That was the front office. They trade him off. What did Nick Foles? What did Carson Wentz do the very next season? Trash, bro. Trash. That's why I say if y'all sit there and do the exact same thing, that's exactly what's going to happen to y'all.
So we're not going to trade Brock Purdy off because
I'm not talking about Trey Purdy. Y'all not. But if y'all start Trey over Brock, that would be stupid.
But it's the same. It's the same thing. It makes sense to still start Trey over Brock because
Why?
Trey is the starter. He should.
That
So you
you
saying you
can't
should
go
you
off
saying you
a
should
starter,
you
bro.
saying you should lose your starting position because of an injury and the player
If
came
a
in.
player is bro, yes, absolutely.
Did Tom Brady get the starting position over Drew Bledsoe the
No, he didn't.
following year
No,
after he won the Super Bowl?
over Drew. The following year, I don't know. Did he? I don't
He
know.
didn't. Drew Bledsoe came back. He played the next year. Then Tom Brady. Bledsoe didn't do well. Then they inserted Tom Brady.
My point exactly. He didn't do well. That's you just made my
But
point.
Trey Lance hasn't had the opportunity not to do well yet.
But Drew, and now look at the GOAT. Look who's the GOAT. Look who's the GOAT. You proving my point, Trey. Everybody that does opposite what y'all should do has faltered.
There's no way.
They have faltered, bro. You so stuck on the fact that the San Francisco 49ers had put all this money in damn Trey Lance and they made a mistake. And that's their damn fault. You have to choke up your losses sometime, bro, and move past that.
I would say that if Trey Lance has played a total of 8 games.
Again, Trey Lance came from what school?
I get it. He came from North Dakota State.
And where did Brock Purdy come from?
Iowa State.
Thank you. There's 2 different conferences, 2 different types of divisions, all of that. Bro, when it's all said and done, the proof is in the pudding. This man is undefeated right now. How do you lose? How do you go away from? And then the fact of the matter is for you to sit here and say that if he wins the Super Bowl, you still gonna put this dude on the bench? That is ridiculous.
At minimal, so I say this. This is why I say, and I see everybody. Y'all just wait. Just wait. Just y'all wait. Just y'all wait. Just y'all wait. Right. This is what I would say, and this is what I firmly believe. No cap, no nothing.
Okay.
Even if Brock wins the Super Bowl, Trey Lance and Brock Purdy will be in a quarterback battle to see who is going to be able to command the offense the best under whoever the offensive coordinator is in Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
That is what's going to happen. So what I would say is Brock Purdy's play at minimum has afforded him an opportunity to win the position next year. However, it's not dead set. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, it's not dead set that he's going to be the starting quarterback next year.
But let me ask you this, Trey. Let me ask you this. Is off-season play, practice, OTAs versus your own team anything like playing against a true opponent? So, do you feel like, and this is a yes or no? I mean, you can elaborate, but
I will elaborate, but I'll give you yes or no off the rip. Just
yeah. But do you feel like that as a coach, Kyle Shanahan? Do you feel like, even though I get it, it's going to be a quarterback. It's gonna be 2 quarterbacks battling for the starting position. Mm-hmm. Do you honestly say that you're not going to take in consideration whether he wins the Super Bowl or how close he gets to the Super Bowl? You really gonna say you're not gonna take in consideration his play for the last 8 games in the previous season doesn't have some type of weight? Hell, because
holds weight
because he is playing well right now. I get it. It'll be a quarterback battle between him and Trey. But when it's all said and done, you're playing against during OTAs and during the offseason spring training, you're playing against your own team. So yeah, things that looks good during your own team is not going to always equate over to a team in which is your true opponent. So why not take in consideration? We seen what Brock did against a true team. We're seeing what Brock is doing in a playoff situation. Why wouldn't that hold some type of weight over Trey Lance, despite the fact he played 8 games or not, and he went 4-4? Despite all of that, you looking at a quarterback who's went 6 or 7-0 almost, depending on how deep they go into the playoffs, and about to play a team who has the same exact record as the 49ers as themselves. And if he comes out victorious, that doesn't have some type of weight over Trey Lance's play.
So, just like Calvin said right here, right? He's basically saying Brock was tossed into the lion's den and he came back leading the
Mr.
pack.
Irrelevant. Right.
He's came back leading the pack.
Right.
I get that. So what I am saying is Trey Lance has not had the opportunity to play to show if he is deserving of what is the third pick in the first round of the draft 2 years removed. He hasn't had that opportunity yet. Brock Purdy right now is no better time than the present. Brock Purdy is showing that he can play, but no different than what we're saying about the preseason and the OTAs is no different about saying what a team or teams will look like in the next season. Like everything changed. We have seen the Rams was an immaculate team last year. They was trash this year. So things change. And with things changing, what I'm saying is that what Brock Purdy, in my opinion, has done is he has afforded the opportunity to have a chance to be the San Francisco 49ers starting quarterback next year. Through them competing.
Speak on it, Calvin. Speak on it, Calvin. But keep going. Keep going.
Through that play,
Mm-hmm.
through that play would determine who they determine to be the best. They might come back and change the whole scheme of things and see who operates best. It's going to be that's what Brock Purdy has done. He has basically played himself into an opportunity to be the starting quarterback or to be the franchise quarterback for an organization at the beginning of the season. That's what he has played himself into this year. But it's likely that they're going to put more emphasis on starting because at the end state, people are fans, right? And so what
who do you
does
think they're more fans of right now, Trey? With that statement, who do you think they're more fans of right now, Brock Purdy or Trey Lance?
They're fans of Brock Purdy, of course, because he's winning. But that's what the fan wants to win. However, an organization wants to win, and they want to sit up and see what what happens. So they can't. They are not going to be too. They're not going to be too handily with the simple fact of they didn't sit up and paid this money or they paid this money to Trey Lance, and he's not the person that's at the starter.
But
if Brock Purdy starts,
aren't we looking at it? Hold that thought. I want you to keep going. But aren't we looking at the same thing with Lamar Jackson? There are a lot of people talking about Lamar Jackson is possibly about to be out of the Baltimore Ravens. Aren't we looking at the same thing at Lamar Jackson? In a way, it is.
Brett Hundley has not outplayed Lamar Jackson.
He has not. However, Lamar Jackson hasn't got his bag. We know Trey Lance has y'all gave him that money to come and be a 49er. However, as I've stated numerous times, when it's all said and done, it's okay to say y'all made a mistake by giving that money to Trey Lance and when y'all have a diamond in the rough in Brock Purdy. And
so Brock Purdy was drafted last year, so we didn't even have Brock Purdy at that time frame. But they might have drafted the wrong player. I thought they was going to go with Justin Fields. They went with Trey Lance.
Right.
I get you. So I can say that, but I don't think they're at the point yet where they're going to. Brock Purdy is making it. Brock Purdy is giving them a scapegoat, but I don't think they're going to take that scapegoat. I think what they're going to do is they're going to afford for them to compete. In USA in what's called, because think about it, this was the same situation that happened with Russell Wilson. He wasn't expected to be the starter when they went into training camp after he had got drafted. He came in, he played, he outplayed, he became a starter, and now he's at some point they presume that he's going to probably be a Hall of Famer. The same thing that we have
with Jalen Hurts. When we had
that is nowhere close to the same.
Yes, it is. Jalen Hurts was not be. Everybody wanted Jalen Hurts to start that year after he got drafted. They wanted him to start, especially after the way Carson Wentz was playing. Everybody wanted Carson Wentz to be put on the bench. And I was upset at Doug Peterson for continuously allowing Carson Wentz to be our downfall when we had Jalen Hurts that could come onto the field and play better than Carson Wentz was playing. He couldn't play no worse because Carson Wentz was playing horrible. So Jalen couldn't come in and play no worse than what Carson Wentz was already playing. Yet it took for Doug Peterson to get fired. We get a new coach in Nick Sirianni. They ship out Carson Wentz. We put Jalen Hurts in at the starter, and look at where we are now. It's basically the same situation, bro. Basically the same thing. Mind you, I get it. Trey Lance has not played as many games as Carson Wentz has. I got it. He only got 8 games under his belt. I totally understand that. However, when it's all said and done, we're looking at Brock Purdy, who has 6 or 7 games under his belt now.
They had the same amount of games.
Okay, and he has a better record. So if you weigh them out right now, Brock Purdy is doing better than Trey Lance had an opportunity to do. I get Trey Lance is hurt, injured. We don't know what he could have done if he hadn't got injured. However, we know what he did when he wasn't.
So what's going on is definitely, it clearly is what's going on is Brock Purdy had more experience than Trey Lance, first and foremost. Currently, even in this current time frame, even though they have the same amount of games.
How you got more experience?
Because
I'm just asking because I didn't know.
Yeah, because he has more. I'm saying he has more experience playing in general because Trey Lance only played 1 year at North Dakota. He won that championship, and the next year he only played 1 game, and then he played COVID. So the last game he played was a game during the COVID season, and he didn't come back and play anymore, and then he got drafted. So Brock Purdy.
So even with that being said,
Brock Purdy has more playing experience than him because even now, even in the NFL, Brock Purdy has more playing experience because Brock Purdy has played 8 games as a starter.
Okay.
Oh, well, 7.5. He's played 7.5 games as a starter.
Okay.
Trey Lance only played 2 or 3 games as a starter. The other games in which he played was he came in and played downs, or he had certain packages is what he played. So right. Brock Purdy has more experience than Trey Lance. But again, that's why I'm saying Trey Lance hasn't had an opportunity. And Trey Lance now
to consider, because that's something to consider too. The fact that Trey Lance, the fact that Brock has more experience over Trey Lance, isn't that something to consider as well?
It's a business, man.
But wouldn't you want and in a business, when you do an application and you looking for new hires, you want the person with more experience than a person who's brand spanking new, right?
True, but if you've already hired somebody to run your corporation and you already paying them a good amount of money, you're going to try to give them an opportunity to run your corporation if you can. Before you sit up and be like, we found out that we have a better person that probably would have been better suited for the position. That was in the mailroom. We brought him up from the mailroom because we didn't have anyone else, and come to show, hey, he's pretty good. But it's like before you sit up and send that person that was already overrunning a corporation for the person that's running the mailroom, you want to make sure that if you put them head to head against each other, that you're making a good, concise decision.
I got you. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, so that's what is going to happen. That's why I said Brock Purdy has shown that, hey, I can do this job, and it's going to be a possibility where he's going to probably have to do the job. He's going to be given an opportunity to do it through the offseason. I think every game that he wins, it continues to build on that. And it's going to be, but they're not just going to hand him the reins. That's not going to happen. Not yet. Because it's funny how y'all got this in the energy that y'all got now. Because when my man from what's his name, who was the Cowboys starting quarterback when Dak went down? See how soon we forgot.
Redhead. Not the red. Is he redheaded?
Yeah, he's redheaded.
God, right there is on the tip of my tongue. Well, come on, you Dallas fans. I know y'all who y'all back up when
they probably forgot him too.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue, and I can't say his name.
Andy Dalton.
No.
Hold on.
Not Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's gone. He ain't even there no more. Not Andy Dalton. It's not Andy Calvin. It's the other. It's not Andy. Andy was there last year. It's not Andy Dalton. Cooper Rush. Thank you, Cooper Rush. That's him. Cooper Rush. So I don't know where he's about to go with that, but I will say this: Dak came back. Cooper Rush won some games for him, lost some games too. But with that being said, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't mind Cooper Rush to come back over Dak, because Dak is leading the league in interceptions since he's been back. He's thrown an interception every single game since he's been back. So a lot of people are probably more likely to want Cooper Rush back than Dak Prescott. Outside of this past game, Dak has not played great ball. Dak has not played great ball at all.
Cooper Rush. There you go.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. Yeah, Cooper Rush.
He was hot at one point.
He was, but I guarantee you, a lot of people wouldn't mind having Cooper Rush back. But look at what Dak has done. He's thrown like 13 interceptions in the last 7 weeks. Like, this dude is not like Dak is not. Dak didn't have a Jimmy G type regular season specific resume prior to injury. Facts, straight facts. But you really can't compare the two because Dak is coming in and he's not playing great ball, man. He's not. He's
But what I'm
not.
saying is Cooper Rush was in the same position in which Brock Purdy is in right now.
As
And
far as no, as far as what being
as
coming in
far
as
as
because
Cooper
Dak
Rush
President
came
was hurt,
in, Cooper Rush came in and he was winning.
he won a couple of games. That's it. This man is on a 7-game winning streak. That's a Cooper Rush won 2 games. Don't get it twisted. That's the
So
whole.
keep in mind,
And keep
but
in
what I'm
mind
saying is
the two
Cooper
games he
Rush
won. The 2 games Cooper Rush won was what? They
3
won no.
games.
Was it 3 games?
Yeah. Actually, was it 4? Was it 4
No, it
games?
wasn't no 4
Cooper
games.
Rush
No.
had a string of games.
He
But
lost to us. He lost to us. I know
yeah, he
that.
lost to y'all. That was his
Okay.
first loss.
Okay, he lost to us.
That was his first loss. So, but Cooper Rush, he won some games.
He lost some games.
He lost a game, and then Dak Prescott came ready to go again. That's completely different. Jimmy Garoppolo, although he is recovering, they're holding him back because they don't know the extent of that recovery. I mean, of him to be able to play. Now he is ready to go if they need him, but of course that is a one and done. And for him to put him back in, he said he managed 4 games. The defense won those games.
Absolute facts, Calvin. Say that part.
So Brock Purdy is currently in position because they have Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's coming off an injury, and so they haven't put him back in. In the case of Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush won some games, and then after he won some games, he lost 1 or 2 games, and then they decided, hey, we're going to bring back Dak Prescott, who was the starter, so he can play again. I could assure you, we don't have that opportunity to do that because our games in which if we lose is done for the season, and then we come back and redo it all over again next year. So the only thing that can happen is if something happens for Brock Purdy during the Cowboys game, Jimmy is there to come and play. So now what we do is we reinstitute another situation because let's say something happens to Brock Purdy, right? Jimmy Garoppolo comes in and he makes some plays and stuff like that and able to get us to the NFC Championship game. Do you stay with Brock Purdy or do you go with the more experienced Super Bowl caliber quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo? San Francisco has a barrel of riches. That's just the end state. And it's now they have to manage. Now Shanahan has to manage that. Currently, we're in a good position because Brock is the man, and he's doing what he needs to do. We have a Super Bowl caliber quarterback sitting in the weights.
Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah.
For this year. He won't be there next year. Next year, it'd be Brock and
Trey.
Trey. And unless they sit up and draft someone else to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know what could happen. They could sit up and be like, yo, we're going to go ahead and stay with Brock. We're going to draft this other player, one of these other players that's coming in, and we're going to sit up and trade Trey Lance to someone else that thinks they but ain't no one checking for Trey Lance. I'll just be honest. San Francisco was the only person I was checking for him.
Do you think Jimmy G was heavily instrumental in the playoff run last season or Bosa and Debo?
Defense win ball games, and Debo, because you know what I'm saying.
Defense win ball games or defense win championships?
I mean, yeah, defense wins championships. Defense is the instrument. So you see, if you look at it, the year that we went to the Super Bowl, lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, we came back the next year. The defense was hobbled and struggling, and we didn't do well. And then the following year defense came back. We was back in the thick of things, and we made that run and put us in position at the end of the year. It helped that Debo, we found the diamond in the rough in Debo and how he can operate. And so now it helps the fact that we have Debo, we have Elijah Mitchell, and we have Christian McCaffrey. And then you have the emergence of Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle is coming back, which is only, in my opinion, he's coming back due to the fact that Brock Purdy, who comes from Iowa State, who has a propensity to throw to their tight ends, is in that bag. So that's why San Francisco is looking rather tantalizing right now.
Tantalizing, is that what we're gonna say?
Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna say. Tantalizing. So before we get up out of here, Bishop, what do you think about the conversation? I love a team stack up at the position because you have to keep them all satisfied when you are physically capable of playing full games. They are all physical. But now we can get balls around because technically we still have people on the that's sitting in the weights. We have Jawan Jennings, you have Ray McLeod. Well, so we got people. So it's uh, a barrel of riches. What do you think about your man, that bad man in Green Bay, and his conversation? Aaron Rodgers basically talked about how he feel like, given the right situation, he think he's still a Super Bowl winning, MVP winning quarterback.
What do you mean? What I think about it? The proof is in the pudding. You at the house right now. What is there to? What is there? He's at the house.
That talking.
Can he play again? Can he possibly play? Absolutely. I don't think
high level player.
Yeah, I think he has, but I do think he if any quarterback is missing a weapon, it was him.
Good morning, Commissioner Myers. How you doing, sir? Glad to see you.
Yes, what's good? What's good? Yeah, if anybody was missing a weapon, unlike you thought Patrick Mahomes was, that bad man was definitely missing his. He was definitely missing his, without question. He was definitely. I'm sure he wished he had his go-to back. But I mean, it is what it is.
So a couple of quotes in which Aaron Rodgers said, he's like, if they want to go younger and think Jordan's ready to go, then that might be the way they want to go. And if there's a case that I still want to play, then there's only one option, right? And that is to play somewhere else. It's not, and if it's not that, and they are like, no, we still want you to play, and this and that, then it'll have to be the right situation with the roster that looks like we can win it all, because there's no point in coming back if you don't think you can win it all. It sounds like he's flexing.
It do, but we talking about the same guy that he was flexing in the beginning of this season. Remember, can't lose all them games and turn it on and be like, oh, I'm still to be at best. No. Sounds like a man that doesn't care about being the starter of a team, and we know he's a starter. Yeah, he's definitely a starter. I don't know if I see that bad man in
Aaron anymore
in Green Bay. No.
Oh, okay, in Green Bay. You going somewhere else, though.
Yeah. I don't think I see
probably
him.
Some places we wouldn't want him to go.
Probably so.
Tampa. Yep. Can you see him, Aaron, in Tampa Bay?
Don't need them problems.
Mike Evans.
No, don't need them problems. Don't need them problems. Hell no. Don't need them. Yeah. He can't.
A-Rod in DC would look crazy. Oh, in Washington or in Vegas? Ooh, him and Devontae connected up again.
Once again,
Vegas, with Josh Jacobs.
Oof.
A running game.
Boy, he right back in the fold. Not in Green Bay. That's why I say I don't see him in Green Bay next year. I don't see Aaron in Green Bay. I don't. I see that relationship has ended, and Aaron Rodgers.
But that means someone has to be willing to pay him. He got $100 million left on the contract for 2 years.
You think ain't nobody willing to pay him that?
$50 million? Are you paying Aaron Rodgers $50 million to come to Philadelphia?
If I can guarantee it, if he came to Philadelphia,
you would pay Aaron Rodgers $50 million to come to Philadelphia right now?
Yes, with the weapons we got, with the weapons we have, Devontae Smith. Hell yes, because he's guaranteed to go to Super Bowl, guaranteed. What? Miles Sanders back there, man? You've got to be kidding me right now.
So you're basically saying every NFL franchise, regardless of who they have in play, should be looking to bring in Aaron Rodgers?
The Texans, nope. Nope.
No, I'm talking about someone like Baltimore.
That part, Commish, tell him. Don't get it twisted.
Like Baltimore. Oh, they ain't got no.
Yeah, they need help over there. All he got is
Buffalo.
Yes.
No, no one's doing
Bruh.
That. I can see Tampa and Vegas maybe.
If he goes to Tampa, if he was go to Minnesota, if he was to go to
Minnesota,
boy, that part. What if he was to go to
Detroit?
Dallas? I would hate for him to go to Dallas.
Yeah, that's
Boy, I'm telling you, there's teams that if he was to go to, it's gonna be major problems.
You know where I can see him going?
Major problems.
You know where I can see him going?
Where?
San Francisco.
You just talked to. Hey man, well, thank you for tuning in to the show, y'all. We appreciate this dude here. How y'all gonna get this dude here? You just said that this cat here, bro. This cat here.
I say we would want him, but I can see that.
No, I can't. A-Rod did beat Dallas this year. That the bad part. I'm taking Hurts over A-Rod though at his age. No, I'm not. I love Hurts. That's my dude. I am. But if
you could get Aaron Rodgers, you want to go with the bad man.
Go with the bad man and get a guarantee. Minnesota would be crazy. I'm telling you, bro. Thank you.
So why can't we have him in San Francisco?
Because you just said y'all have quarterback problems already. Why would y'all why would y'all get Aaron Rodgers? Y'all already have quarterback issues. Why would y'all go with that?
This is why.
Oh my gosh, this dude here.
This is why. If you bring in someone like Aaron Rodgers, the ideal is he's only played one or 2 seasons.
One or 2 seasons.
One or 2 seasons. He's only played 1 or 2 seasons, so that gives an opportunity for you to get 1 or 2 seasons out of Aaron Rodgers.
But just like you said,
quarterbacks.
No, what you will not do. What you will not do, Trey, is y'all done paid Trey Lance too much money to bring.
But I'm saying they would sit up and get rid of. They would get rid of Trey Lance for that.
No, you're not gonna say y'all gonna get rid of Trey Lance.
They would get rid of Trey Lance for that. It's a difference.
Oh, no, you not.
They would get rid of Trey Lance for that. They would find a way to, because you got to think they can trade Trey Lance.
Oh my God,
they can trade because they're not going. They're going to have to trade Aaron Rodgers. That's the only way he's going to work. They can trade Trey Lance for Aaron Rodgers.
This dude here, bro. Now all of a sudden,
Trey Lance go compete
now
against
Trey
Jordan.
Lance. But you just said you wouldn't pay $50 million to him. You just said that.
Not with under our current West, but I would sit up and bring him in for that. Or even you got to think in-state. Jimmy's gone, is going to leave. He's a free agent. He's going to leave. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback room.
No, you just said $50 million. You're not getting it. You're not taking on that tab. You're not taking on that $50 million tab. You're not. You just said that.
I was asking, would y'all? I didn't say we wouldn't. You're right. I'm not. We're not taking. It's good. It's all good. I'm not. Yeah, we're not taking them $50 million. $50 million, $100 million. Goodness gracious.
I'm taking you.
And then you know what's funny? Aaron Rodgers said he isn't going to be around for a rebuild. He's like he'll do a rebuild.
He said that at the beginning of the season.
He's been saying that. He's like he's not being around for a rebuild, but he'll do a reload, but not a rebuild. But then he's talking about how he wants to keep all those people in, the people that he's been in the same locker room with. But yet he's a $50 million man. He's not taking a pay cut, but he wants them to keep these people around. Bruh, you can't have it both ways.
Who say he can't?
You can't. He can't. He think he can. He on that same stuff that KD was on when he thought he was going to get his way out of the Brooklyn.
And I feel you.
Ain't no player bigger than the league.
I guarantee you might not be bigger than the league. Facts.
You're not bigger than your team either.
I will tell you this. You see, he was still in Green Bay this year. He got that $50 million. So you saying he ain't bigger than the team? Obviously, he is.
He's not bigger than the team. He got that $50 million, but he ain't finna get $50 million and the players to stay there. That's not gonna happen,
bro.
He can't have it where he get $50 million. He's not gonna get $50 million and he hold off a rebuild. He's not holding off a rebuild. If they're gonna rebuild, they're gonna rebuild. He's gonna be there.
Tell him again, Commish. There's not a team in the NFL right now, if they get an opportunity to pull Aaron Rodgers and they got the money to do it, will not pull him. Especially if they have weapons to complement him. There's not a team in the NFL right now.
And you know what the problem with that is, in my opinion? Because he's under contract. Remember that word contract? When that piece of paper I used to hold on contract? Because he's under that contract, they would have to give us some of those assets in order to be able to get him.
And some teams would take on that challenge. I'm telling you, some people would take on that challenge.
Aaron Rodgers is going to find out.
Everybody knows.
He's going to find out.
Everybody knows Aaron Rodgers wasn't the Aaron Rodgers this year and didn't make the playoffs because of the fact he didn't have.
He didn't have. All he had was Christian. What's his name? Christian. Is it Dotson?
Dotson. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
He ended up having him later in the season.
that's it.
What's going to happen is Aaron Rodgers is going to realize that he doesn't have the power he think he is. You know, the only power that Aaron Rodgers has, he can retire. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. He either retire or he going to do what the team wants him to do.
That's it. That part, Mish. That part right there. They will take that man all day if they got the money. Rodgers puts fans in the seats. Man, as soon as any team picks up Rodgers, his jersey, all of that, his number is going to skyrocket for that team. Especially a team like I said, Minnesota. Especially a team like I said in regards to who else I said? I said Minnesota, Dallas, bruh. And then fool around and let Sean Payton go to Dallas.
Bro, Sean Payton going to. What about Sean Payton going to one of the other teams, Houston, Arizona? Houston is the only place that he can go where Sean Payton will be, because nowhere else like Arizona isn't going to sit up and wouldn't get an Aaron. I mean, again, maybe so because they have to trade. They have to trade. What's his name? Murray. They have to trade Murray to get him. Right. And yeah, so because I think they even talk about they're starting to wonder they're wondering what the new GM is going to do with Nuke. In Arizona, what's his name? Receiver.
In Arizona? Oh
yeah.
Freaking frack. I can't even think of his name, bro.
But yeah, their top receiver. They wondering what they're gonna do with him.
Yeah.
So, New England, Aaron Rodgers in New England. But yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers gonna find out he ain't got the power that he gotta do. He's gonna be the KD of the NFL. KD thought he could flex, and it didn't happen. And he had to sit up and play with what they had in Brooklyn.
We gonna see. So, time will tell. We about to go. Super Bowl about to be here, and we gonna see.
Of course, saying that's our time for today, folks. We greatly appreciate you rocking with us tomorrow. Y'all know where to find us, of course, tomorrow. As we get closer and closer to making the picks on Friday to find out what is going on and what we think. Oh, well, y'all already know what I think. But y'all get to find out what I think about them Eagles and them Giants, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trey Lance.
We get to find out, of course, more talks in the NBA. Matter of fact, we ain't talked about it yet. We'll talk about it probably tomorrow. What do we think about the new Pro Bowl system and how that's going down? Our pros. So, please more to talk about, probably get some more hirings, a lot more NBA action. We didn't get a chance to talk about Ngannou basically being released by the UFC and what he's going to do. So we got plenty to talk about. Until then, we'll see y'all. Y'all enjoy your day. Bishop, any last words, brother?
Oh no, man. Y'all have a great hump day. Enjoy it. Be safe. Love on someone. Hug on someone. Time is of the essence. We appreciate you, the Calvins, the Kamish, Africa.
He gonna take it down. Come next week.
No, I ain't. For what? I'm not taking it down. For what? We gonna continue.
One way or another. He gonna take it down early in the week or late in the week.
I'm gonna add to. I'm gonna keep adding to. Don't worry about it. The Anthony Prices. We appreciate the Marcus Gardners, all of y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the First Formation. Like I always say, First Formation is not First Formation without any of y'all. We thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same bad channel, baby. Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. Have a great hump day. We'll be